Greetings to you all in the most precious name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Today, in this video, we are going to see about John Anderson, a Scottish missionary and the founder of the Mission of the Free Church of Scotland at Madras, India. John Anderson was born at Craig Farm, Kirkpatrick, Durham in Galloway on 23rd May 1805. He was the eldest son in a family of nine, his father being blind. He received the rudiments of his education in the parish schools and in his 22nd year entered the University of Edinburgh, where he obtained prizes in Latin and in moral philosophy, distinguishing himself by his facility in Latin composition. He also studied theology and church history under Thomas Chalmers and David Welsh. He married Margaret Locker on 29 January 1847, a Swiss lady from Zurich appointed in 1845 missionary at Madras of the Ladies' Association of the Church of Scotland. She joined the Free Church in April 1846. Anderson was licensed by the Presbytery of Dumfries on 3rd May 1836. He volunteered for service in India, impelled chiefly by Dr. Duff's missionary address to the General Assembly. He was appointed by the Foreign Mission Committee on 28th June and ordained on 13th July 1836. Traveling to India, he sailed in the Scotia on 13th August 1836. He arrived at Calcutta on 27th December and Madras on 22nd February 1837. On 3rd April, he took charge of St. Andrew's School, established by two Scottish chaplains, Matthew Bowie and George James Lowry, in 1835, beginning his labors as a missionary with 59 Hindu boys and young men, the nucleus of the Madras Christian College. The branch of missionary work to which Anderson devoted himself was education. At that time, the standard of education among the natives of the Madras Presidency was very low. Anderson's object, as stated in the prospectus of the first mission school opened by him at Madras, was to convey through the channel of a good education as great an amount of truth as possible to the native mind and especially of Bible truth. The ultimate aim being that each of these institutions shall be a normal seminary in which teachers and preachers may be trained up to convey to the benighted countrymen the benefit of a sound education and the blessings of the gospel of Christ. Anderson laid great stress upon education and native preachers in all missionary effort. The first school, established by Anderson, which formed the nucleus of the institution now known as Madras Christian College, speedily acquired a high reputation. The number of pupils rapidly increased, although the school was on several occasions almost broken up on the conversion to Christianity of some of the pupils, and also by the admission of pupils of low caste. Notwithstanding these difficulties and the establishment of a very efficient government school in which the instruction given was purely secular, the mission school prospered, and in the course of a few years, branch mission schools were established in the town of Madras and in some of the principal towns in the neighboring districts. One of the leading features in Anderson's method of instruction was the practice of making the pupils question each other on the subject of the lesson, a practice which at that time was new at all events in India. In 1841, The first native converts, two in number, were baptized, and in 1846, these two converts and one another were licensed as preachers and were ordained in 1851. Anderson never looked forward to numerous conversions as the immediate result of mission work. In 1839, Anderson was joined by a second missionary, Reverend Robert Johnston, who proved a most valuable coadjutor. In the course of a few years, the number of Scottish missionaries were increased to four. In 1843, on the disruption of the Church of Scotland, Anderson and his colleagues joined the Free Church, and thenceforward the mission was carried on in connection with that church. The subject of female education soon attracted Anderson's attention. There was no difficulty in securing the attendance of girls of the lower caste, but in the case of native caste girls, the difficulty was and still is very great. Indian girls marry early, and native parents see none of the material benefits to be derived from their education, which induced them to send their sons to mission schools even at the risk of their being led to change their religion. But these obstacles were gradually overcome in some measure, and before Anderson's death, 700 Hindu and Mohammedan girls were under instruction in the schools of the mission. In this branch of his work, Anderson was greatly helped by Mrs. Anderson. Anderson revisited Scotland in 1849 when he was accompanied by P. Rajagopal, one of his first converts. He returned to India in December 1850 and died on 25th March 1855 after a short illness. He had labored for 18 years at the work for which he had been set apart, only once during that period revisiting his native land, in which he was accompanied by Reverend Rajagopal. His constitution, naturally strong, had become enfeebled by his incessant toils and anxieties in a debilitating climate. His work for India was entirely educational. He established schools in various centers and was greatly helped by his wife, devoted himself to the instruction of native girls of all castes and creeds, giving special attention to those of higher caste as being more difficult to draw within Christian influences. Before his death, 700 Hindu and Mohammedan girls were in attendance at his mission schools. Because of his tedious work, today MCC has grown into the fourth best college in India in the field of sciences according to the India Today 2021 Best Colleges in India rankings, with 300 academic staffs with around 8,500 students serving many poor people. Thank you for watching.